Hello and welcome to the Quietly Visible podcast. I'm your host, Carol Stewart, founder of The Bounding Solutions and author of Quietly Visible. And this is the podcast for introverted women who want to thrive as leaders and in life. And if you're not introverted and you're watching or listening, if you want to be your authentic self and thrive as your authentic self, then this is the podcast for you. Now, today's guest is someone I've known for, and we were just talking about how long we've known each other. I've known her for probably about 13 years, 12, 13 years. And we first met when I used to do a monthly networking event for women in central London. And she came along to my event and, we hit it off. And she came and she spoke at my monthly event, not once, but twice. And then since then, when I've had my International Women's Day conferences, she's facilitated the panel discussion. So she's someone who I trust and someone who I like a lot. And her name is Oge Okosieme. And what we're going to be talking about is something it can be quite challenging for introverted women. And it's often that they're not struggling with clarity. What the challenge can be is when their position is challenged in the moment. So that moment where you've spoken up and you said something, and then somebody challenges you. How do you deal with that? Well, that's what me and Oge are going to unpick so that we can help you to navigate those moments. So hello, Oge, and welcome.
Hello, Carol. Thank you for that introduction. And yes, 13 years.
Yes,
And
yes.
here we are.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yes, it's really good to have you here.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't actually say to people what it is that you do. So let me tell them what you do, and then I'll ask you to tell us a little bit more about yourself. So
Okay.
OK works with senior leaders and founders to strengthen how they hold their position under pressure. And that is what we're talking about, holding that position under pressure. And her work focuses on what happens in those real moments when a leader is challenged, not their thinking, but how their system responds in the room. She's known for her precision in identifying where authority shifts and for helping leaders stay clear, grounded, and decisive without over explaining or pulling back. Her work is used by leaders operating in rooms where decisions, time, and credibility matter. So tell us a bit more about who Oge is.
Oh, what do you want to know? I was just sharing with you. I can share that. Oge has just become a grandma. So that's that's part of who Oge is as well. I'm now an ancestor. That's a bit about private Oge. Work Oge is what you shared, Carol. I work with leaders, especially leaders moving into bigger roles. That's my sweet spot where
Mm.
your authority can often become challenged under pressure.
Yeah, okay. And before we start to unpick that, have you ever experienced that yourself?
Every yeah,
Yeah.
I'm laughing because actually it I started this work because I was losing my own authority under pressure.
Oh,
So
really?
it's work that started off as a personal pursuit in terms of why is this happening to me now?
Mm-hmm.
And then over years, I've also observed leaders and I could see similar patterns. I started to develop my work and develop my frameworks. But yes, it started as with a lot of things as a personal journey.
Mm.
So the answer to that is yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still
And
do now.
yeah, and that is often the case, isn't it? That your personal journey, there's a saying that goes, your test becomes your testimony.
Yeah.
Um, and that rings true for a lot of people. So what was the experience like for you? How did that feel? How did it feel when you were having your authority challenged?
Let me give you like a specific one, because
Mm-hmm.
moments work better with this than abstract. So I was speaking to another senior leader, and he was really interested in this specific work. So this actually happened recently, and he was
Mm-hmm.
interested in my specific work. And so I could see him light up. And when he lit up, Carol, he started asking me more questions about the work. As soon as he
Mm-hmm.
started asking me that, I could feel my heart and my belly begin to flutter. And it was
Mm-hmm.
starting to flutter. And for me, we'll go a bit more into this, but for me, when that happens, when I start going offline, which is what I call it, those triggers start to happen. And then I just want to disappear because of the attention, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to disappear. And I started talking faster, not answering his questions in detail. And at some point, I tried to move the conversation elsewhere. That's
Yeah.
when my authority dropped out.
Yeah.
And this happened 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's not, yeah,
Mm.
it still happens. The difference is I catch it sooner.
Yeah. And with a lot of these things which are triggering something in us,
Yeah.
um, they don't necessarily go away, but it's that we have the self-awareness to know what is going on. So we equipped
Exactly.
with the tools and the techniques, we can do something about it rather than letting it just eat away at us until it derails us from what we want to do.
And it's
With
not meant to go away, Carol. Sorry, I spoke
mm,
over you. It's not meant to go away. That's the
hmm
thing. These triggers are there for a reason.
yeah,
What the danger is when we treat it as automatic, and it gives us just one choice because we're going down an auto route, rather than pause and say, I'm this trigger is happening now. What choices are available to me?
yeah,
So they're
yeah,
not meant to go away, but you're right.
yeah.
You are meant to notice.
hmm Yeah, or what some people try and do is they try and just suppress it,
Exactly.
sweep it under the carpet, act like it's not there, it's not
Yeah,
happening, but then
yeah,
it
yeah,
just keeps
yeah.
bubbling up and
And
tapping
then
away.
And then what happens? It goes into an invisible container. That
Hmm
bubble up goes into an invisible container. I mean, think about a leader, okay? She's received an email. She's not happy with it. And she's like, oh, I have to be relatable. I have to be personable. And she ignores it. And then somebody else comes in, maybe barges in on her boundary, that whole trigger, she ignores it. A week later, she explodes in a team
Yeah.
meeting. Do you know what I mean? She just
hmm
goes boom in a team meeting. And it's like, where did that come from? That
Yeah.
actually came from those little moments that you did not address.
Yeah. And so going back to your experience, what was it about the man that was speaking to you? Was it the questions he was asking? Was it his demeanor? What do you think it was that triggered that in you?
Exposure. In
Mm.
asking me certain questions, it felt like I was being exposed.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of danger, more exposure to judgment. Am I going to
Yeah.
get it right if I don't say the right thing? What's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen? And that's for me personally. For other people, it's different. But for me, in that moment, it was the exposure to judgment.
Yeah, yeah. And that can be quite powerful in a negative way, can't it? When you
Yes.
feel that we're being judged.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm and so you recognize, so were you able to recognize or deal with it in that moment, or was it after you stepped away?
In this case, I wasn't, and that's why I
hmm
brought it up. There
hmm
are cases now, mostly I can. In that
hmm
case, I wasn't, and it was very specific circumstances, but I didn't.
hmm
And then I stepped away. and processed it. And I realized, because I know what my sequences are and I know what my trigger is that exposure to judgment for me. So I went away and I could see what had happened.
Yeah. And the trigger can be different for different people, can't it?
Yes. For some people, it's rejection. You know, for me, it's judgment. It depends. It's different for different people. For some people, it's fear of being wrong. All sorts of things.
Yeah. And our brains are fascinating. Our minds are just, I'm so fascinated with how our minds work that, we feel that there's a threat, even though it's not a physical threat, but that's just psychologically we feel as if we're under attack or being threatened. That triggers all of this. And
your whole system just reacts before thought. Before thought. It takes like 3 seconds. Boom, 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 and your whole system has started to react. Like the hot flush in the face. For me, it was a flutter in the belly. That had nothing to do with thought or mindset or confidence. Straight before that event and immediately after, I was confident, Oge, but in that moment, something set off that trigger.
And that's you just reminded me of an example of a situation that I experienced. This was probably about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I did a master's in psychology, and my research looked at how introverted women leaders experience belonging and psychological safety in the workplace. And Amy Edmondson, who's like the world leading authority on psychological safety, her work I referenced a lot in my work. Her research informed a lot of what my research was about. And I attended a book launch that she had, because she was over in the UK. And after I went to get my book signed by her, and I was talking to her, and I told her about my research, and she said, "Oh, you'll have to send me a copy." And I just said yes. I didn't ask her for the email address or where to send it, and I walked away. And then it was like, "Oh, do I think I am? This is like the Harvard professor, world expert on the psychological safety. Here's me, just this little old me from this, my background, and who am I? What do I know?" And like you, because I'm self-aware and I recognize the things that can trigger it, I was able to recognize what was going on. And so, and I got home and thinking about it, reflecting on it, and I sort of told myself, well, I got a first for my dissertation, and my research supervisor wanted me to publish it. So if she thinks it's not good enough, then that's okay. That's her opinion. And then I thought, I didn't ask her for her email address, probably because subconsciously I told myself I wasn't going to send it, because who did I think I was? And so then, because I didn't have her email address, I had to then search online, try and find an email address for her. I managed to find how I could contact her through the Harvard website, contacted her, and within less than an hour, I got a response from her. And she said, "Oh, this is my email address." And I mentioned to her how I had had a dose of imposter syndrome and wasn't going to send it. And she goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. We all do." And so indicating that she experiences it as well.
Yes.
Those moments.
Yes. And that's exactly, you've just described the process, the whole process. So something triggered it. And it's usually something external that triggered that moment. And you didn't mention it, but there was very likely a physical sensation reaction.
And
that's your cue.
So for me, it's usually that tension in my stomach. Yes.
And then the minute your authority dropped out was straight after that, because your attention then went to her. Okay.
Yeah.
Possibly you were looking at her face. How is she reacting? What is her body language like? All those things. So your attention now went to her. That's when you went offline. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly the moment you went offline. Those are the moments I work in. That
Yeah.
moment that you go offline.
Yeah. And I know what it is that sent me offline in terms of she's a Harvard professor. I'm just little old me, left school with just a few, what was then called O levels or GCSEs. Were they GCSEs, CSEs, and O
Yeah.
levels back in the day? And that was it for me. Who do I think I am? But I've earned my rights. I deserve
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
where I am. Mm.
And
So,
what's annoying about those situations, like I said, they're not, it's not like you're thinking about it. Your whole
mm,
system just reacts
yeah.
a lot of the times before you even have a moment to catch it. And
Hmm.
it's a system thing. It's not a you or a me thing. It's a programming and a learned thing. And it can
Yeah.
be deprogrammed and it can be unlearned. You just
Yeah.
have to find where you are in the sequence. So,
Hmm.
like when you were saying, you said, "Oh, who do you think you are?" That's what happens after you realize, not often consciously, but you realize that you dropped out, that you
Yeah.
dropped offline, and then you start trying to compensate. So that, who do you think you are? This one is now rationalizing and compensating for dropping offline. So there's
Yeah.
those sequences that you can pick up that tells you something just went down.
Hmm. So tell listeners about the process and
Mm,
how
mm,
they
mm.
can recognize that is happening to them.
So we just talked about it. We've just gone through it. So we
Yeah.
can even use
But
your example or my example. I'm happy
mhm.
to
Yeah.
use your. Can we use your example?
Yes, yes, happy
Yeah.
to.
So a trigger happens,
Hmm.
and the trigger, in your case, someone paid you attention.
Hmm.
Is that what happened? She
It
asked
wasn't it
about your
wasn't so much
book.
she paid me
Mhm.
attention. I think it was
Yeah, go.
knowing my background and comparing it to hers as a Harvard professor.
What
Yeah.
did she do exactly, though? What did she do or say that triggered that thought process? That's the important thing. She did something. That's
She's
the
she,
trigger.
she said, "Oh, you'll have to send it to me." She was very nice, very nice,
So she
and
complimented you, paid you
interested in
attention.
my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the trigger. And
Mm,
why I'm specific about it, Carol, because if you have a trigger, there's a good chance the same thing triggers you in same thing, different clothing.
yeah, yeah.
So it's important to understand. Yours like is similar to mine because mine is also attention.
Hmm.
Like, oh my God, this is really good work. He was saying, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to judge me and I won't be able to live up to it.
Hmm.
So the trigger happens. Once your trigger happens, your system reacts.
Hmm. And,
That,
and and before
yeah.
we move on to
Mhm.
looking at how the system reacts, I'd like to just explore the trigger more so that
Yeah.
people get an understanding how they, if their experience is totally different, how it
Yeah.
might show up for them. So, yeah, I'm just thinking, how can we get that across in a way that, say, someone whose experience is totally different? So for me, I recognize that it's because, and I call it psychological privilege, that I was
Ah,
in situations where
yeah.
where psychologically I think somebody is um, maybe better than me.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, so what other forms could this trigger take on, or what could it
It's
look
so
like?
individual. It's so individual. And for me, I would say that I understand the question, but that's not the most important part because anything could trigger it. The important thing is to notice that you are triggered. You know, like you said earlier, some people don't even notice. They're like suppressing and they're like, nope, me, I'm okay. Nothing just happened. Yeah. The important thing is to notice that you are triggered rather than focus on, do you know what form it takes? Because it could vary different times. Now, as you notice you are triggered and you're paying attention, you will begin to see your own pattern.
Yeah.
You know? So step one, when you're triggered, observe without judgment. Just notice, something triggered me. And how you know you are triggered is the next step, which is your system reacts.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, before we go there, you could be actually triggered in a good way. Like when you're excited about something and your whole system feels good and it's like, oh, so it doesn't have to be in a negative way. And that's what I was saying earlier. Your system will react because biologically, that's what we're built to do.
Yeah.
To react. So the next stage is your system reacts. For you, it was that feeling in your belly. For me, it's a belly, a chest, depending on what it is. It could be in my head too.
Yeah.
My head feels like it's expanding. Yeah. Somebody else I'm working with, she gets tingles in her hands. It's so individual. The important thing is to notice. That's where a lot of people override that sensation. So that system reacting is sensation.
Yeah.
Notice that. And I say notice that because there's a good chance, it's not a good chance, most likely how your system reacts is linked to what is triggering you.
Yeah. And the thing as well is we notice that physiological response before we notice what's going on in our minds, don't we?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Then your system reacts, and what will often happen is one of two things. Your attention will leave your spine, as I call it, literally will leave your being, leave your spine, and focus on the thing that's the threat or that triggered. So you just start, again, we do this without even noticing.
Yeah.
You focus on the thing, or sometimes what happens is you withdraw from everything and collapse inwards. So one of those two things happens when an authority leak is happening. When it's a self-anchored authority, I call it, which is the opposite, your system will react and you will notice it and you will stay in your spine. You just stay with you. Do you know what I mean? You don't go there or here. When a leak is about to happen, your attention moves. Yeah? So
I love the words that you use to describe it.
Yeah.
Authority leak. I love that.
Yeah. That's when your authority is about to go offline. I use offline as well because literally you're going offline. It's like, bye-bye, I'm not here anymore.
Yeah.
You're there, but you're not there in that you're not in contact with yourself anymore. You're not on the spine anymore.
Yeah. So they've noticed the authorities leaked. Yeah. What next?
And as soon as your attention moves either to that outside trigger or collapsing you, you've abandoned yourself. That's the leak. That's what's important. And that can show up. Well, no, we'll go to compensation. Then straight after that, what happens is you notice that you've gone offline, and your system will attempt to bring you back online. Okay. And how it does that is you start to compensate. So we talked about you, and you started saying, who do you think you are? For me, how I started to compensate is I started giving too much information, talking too much, over explaining. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. How a lot of
Yes.
people start to compensate. You start over explaining. Another way somebody might overcompensate in a leadership situation is you start opening up decisions that were already done. It's like, I just want to check how everyone's feeling about this. There's a place for that. But in this process, that is you compensating, because very likely the whole thing was already wrapped, and then you open up things again.
Yeah. One way in which I see overcompensating, and I see a lot with some of the clients that I coach, is the apologetic language.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm sorry, Bert.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Bert.
Yeah. And that, Carol's a really good example. And that, I'm going to say 99.999% to give a little bit to the 0.001%, but that happens straight after an authority leak. And you start apologizing because that's what I was saying, you've gone offline.
Yeah.
That's your way of coming back online.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually that authority leak happens, that abandoning yourself happens, though. This is really important because you are protecting something. That's so important, because once you understand what you were protecting, it takes the self-judgment out of it. So I know in many situations, what I'm protecting is being judged harshly. Yeah. That's really important. And once I understood that, I understood why I would start, like, say, over explaining and giving too much information, because I want to make sure you understand so that you're not judging me. Yeah. So it's really important when you're going through that process to be gentle on yourself, and also ask yourself, what am I protecting here?
Yeah. And like what you say about that protection, and it goes back to the way how our brains are. It's at its core is that sense of survival. When we're in those our sort of primitive brains or cells would think that we're not going to survive. And so we need to protect ourselves. And you know, the world has evolved. We're not under threat as such. I mean, some people are, but we're not under a physical threat. It's psychological.
But our brains haven't evolved, though.
That's right.
Our brains are still in that survival place, precisely.
Yeah.
And that is why your system reacts the way it does before thought.
Yeah.
And that is why I say, be gentle with yourself and take the judgment out of it. What is important is to catch the sequence as it's happening and disrupt it, interrupt it, disrupt it. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Because what happens when our brain takes over in that survival way, it narrows down your choices. Yeah. So where in my case, what I could have done that would have helped, instead of going off and going offline and trying to divert attention and over explaining, what I needed to do was hold eye contact. Yeah. But because my system had taken over, that survival brain you're talking about had taken over. That choice wasn't even available to me in that moment.
Yeah.
It was nice in hindsight when I was reflecting, yeah, what I actually needed to do was hold eye contact and pause and let the
Yeah.
moment carry itself. Okay. Now, because I did that and I understood that, next time it happened, which invariably did, I did the eye contact thing and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, it's recognizing in those. So if you're in a high stakes situation, a leader in a high stakes situation,
Yeah.
recognizing in the moment that that is what is happening, and being able to do like what you said about bringing yourself back to the present.
Yeah.
Because you may need to make a decision, or you may need to you might be pitching for something, and it's all dependent on that moment.
Yes.
So having that awareness is crucial, isn't it? That is
It
what's going
is.
on.
It
Mm.
is. And having your own, knowing yourself, like you
Yeah.
said, knowing yourself.
Hmm.
It's so critical. It's so important.
Yeah. And I think also understanding what's happening biologically
Yeah.
as well
Yeah.
helps you to realize it's not you.
Exactly.
Yeah, the problem is not you. There's nothing wrong with you. Your
Yes.
biological system is just
Mhm.
responding to a threat,
Exactly.
the
In
way
the
that you were
way it was
created.
taught to
Hmm.
respond.
That's right. Yeah.
It's doing its job.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, the job may need upgrading. You may need to change the job description,
Hmm.
but that disrupting and interrupting and noticing the sequence is you
Mm.
upgrading the job description.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more somebody experiences this, recognizes what's going on, reflects after, why did I respond this way? The
Yeah,
more aware they can become.
yeah,
And as you mentioned, start to identify what triggers it.
yeah.
Mm.
That's a really good one. Identifying the trigger
Hmm. Yeah.
and the body cue, your body cueing you. Oops,
Hmm.
we're about to switch off. The
Yeah.
flutter, the however it happens for
Hmm.
you, notice that because
Yeah.
that is your moment of choice.
Yeah. And that saying, forewarned is forearmed. If you are aware, and that's something that, I do with my coaching clients time and time again, is um, when you know that, and it could be certain people, it could be certain environments, it could be certain characters, it could be people who are more domineering. When you
Yes,
know what it is that's triggering it, when you're going into those spaces, if you are aware, you can prepare yourself so that it minimizes the
exactly.
chances of that happening. Mm.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up that preparation because what we've been talking about is what happens in the moment.
Mm.
And similar to you, when I'm working with my clients, we take moments and we slow it down. A bit like what we've been doing here, we
Yeah.
would slow that process right now down so I can pinpoint exactly where you're dropping out. I
Hmm.
can pinpoint what you're doing to compensate, and then we can address the moment. So we can bring in tools from actually you that you can use to address the moment. So what we would do is I would give you an orientation and you would use that and we would go
Hmm.
back into that moment and keep practicing it until it lands in your body. Yeah, so we
Hmm.
come up with something. One example of an orientation is what I said, make eye contact.
Yeah.
That can be really difficult at first, but with practice, you upgrade the job description.
Hmm.
And when you practice it in a safe setting, i.e., I'm working with you, we're no longer there, but we can go in there and work with it, you can upgrade that. However, back to what you were saying, that's the moment. It's also important to build routines, to build structures around you that stabilizes you long term, so that you're no longer managing the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in and you're stabilized enough to flow through those moments without needing to slow down a specific moment so you can manage it.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Great. This is a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
It's a topic that I love to work with. It's as I mentioned, the brain, how our minds work, how our brains work is something that fascinates me. But
Yes.
so thank you for this conversation.
Yeah, we could have taken it. There's
We could have gone deep. We could have gone far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if people want to find out more about you and your work, where's the best place for them to go?
I'm on LinkedIn. So you
Mm-hmm.
can find me on LinkedIn, Oge Okosieme. Type that in, you'll find me on LinkedIn. Also, if you're interested in a diagnostic, which I do, I take you through this process in more detail, slow it down, and pinpoint the exact moment your authority dropped out. You can find me on iamoge.com/diagnostic, and you can book in a diagnostic there. I have a few spaces open every month for leaders.
Great, thank you. So we will put the links in the show notes. So listeners, do go and check Oge out. Don't let your authority leak and throw you off track. Go and check Oge out. So thank you, Oge. It's been a pleasure to speak to you again and see you again.
I've loved this. I've really enjoyed this, Carol. Thank you for having me. And thank you to your listeners too for listening in and enjoying this.
Great. I'm sure they're going to enjoy it a lot. So listeners, do go check Oge out. Do share this episode to friends, colleagues, because so many people will benefit from it. And if you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button. And if you want to increase your confidence, influence, and impact, if you haven't completed the assessment on my website, go to aboundingsolutions.com. Under the free resources, there's an assessment that you can complete that will give you ideas about areas to focus on. And so until the next time, bye.